Hey, as I start today, I'd like to take you through a few scenarios. So let's say it's Monday morning, you are at work and a coworker who you've been in good terms with just walks past you and says nothing. No greeting, no highs, nothing. Do you ask yourself what's wrong? Did I do something? Are they angry at me? Are they in a bad mood? Is everything okay? What do you ask? And then later during the day when you log on to social media, you see that a group of friends from work had a fun weekend out and didn't invite you. They look like they're having fun and everybody looks happy from the bunch of photos. In fact, one of the captions reads, "Let's do this again." No one invited you. Later on the way home, some random guy on the street catcalls you and then starts to call you names when you ignore them. In fact, they're very loud and other people in the street start to give you weird looks. Some are laughing at you, but nobody does anything. And then when you get home, you get a notification for an email that says you've been passed for the promotion you'd applied for. In fact, they'll be bringing somebody from outside the company to fill in the position you wanted. Seems like a bad day, right? But what are you telling yourself right now? How do you feel about yourself? What adjectives are you using on yourself? How do you feel about your future and the world in general? Hello there, and welcome to the Cocoa Butter Junkie podcast. I'm Michelle, and this is my podcast. This is a podcast on the everyday reflections and experiences of a Kenyan woman. It is my examination of life living through mental health issues, grief, growing up, a.k.a. kicking and screaming into adulthood, the experiences of being a woman in Kenya, making friends as an adult, struggles with faith, and a bunch of other topics. Thank you for listening. According to the American Psychology Association, a.k.a., automatic thoughts are thoughts that are instantaneous, habitual, and non-conscious. Automatic thoughts affect a person's moods and actions. So you have a thought, it affects how you feel, and then you act how you feel. Thoughts, feelings, and actions. For example, someone compliments you on how you look today, and you think, I actually do look good today. So you feel happy and confident, and immediately your work changes. In fact, your whole day changes. So you think you look good, you feel happy and confident, and your whole day changes. Think, feel, act. Today we'll focus on automatic negative thoughts or ants, how to identify them and how to revise them. Let's go back to the bad day at work. Your friend ignores you. Everybody else went out for a fun weekend and left you out. You missed the promotion you wanted and you're assaulted on the street as you go home. Examples of thoughts or what I'm thinking could be going through your mind could be like, I'm no good. Why can't I ever succeed? I'm a loser. My life is a mess. I'm a failure. I'll never make it. My friends hate me. There's something wrong with me. My life is not going the way I wanted. And then, how do these thoughts make you feel? Do you feel sad? Do you feel overlooked? Do you feel misunderstood, hopeless, helpless, disconnected? And then when you go back to work the next day, are you motivated to keep working? What's the quality of your work? How do you interact with everyone at work? Are you connected? Are you giving it your best? So the reason they're called automatic is because you have basically little control, at least initially, on them, because they are based on what you think about yourself and the world. They're a reflex based on your past experiences, your abilities, your view of the world and of yourself. If we have the same experiences over and over again, these thoughts, they become ingrained in our minds over time until we're not even aware of them. So if you're thinking, I'm a loser, it's because something in your past maybe has led you to this conclusion. Maybe somebody early on in your life, like a parent or authority figure, maybe like a teacher, made you feel like a loser for not achieving something or said it to you directly. As a child, you may have linked achievement to winning or quote unquote not being a loser. So every time you don't achieve something, or maybe you're not perfect, this thought is triggered. So in this particular case, you missed the promotion, so you're a loser. And guys, this could be anything and not just about a job. It could be you didn't make a business deal, your business failed, you got bad grades in school, you missed the tender you applied for, you didn't get some particular award, somebody rejected you. It basically could apply to a bunch of other issues, but just try and think of it in terms of your own experiences. But let's examine the situation. You were passed for a promotion. Granted, this will make anyone feel bad, but does that mean you're a loser? Since a lot of our thinking happens automatically and we're not even aware, it may appear that a situation or a person directly caused our emotional response, but in reality, our automatic thoughts played a big role in that outcome. Before we tackle how to deal with these kinds of thoughts, other examples of negative thoughts could be like, I feel so helpless. Something has to change. There must be something wrong with me. My future is bleak. It's just not worth it. I can't finish anything. I can't get things together. I hate myself. I am worthless. Sometimes I wish I could just disappear. What's wrong with me? The world is an awful place. I can't cope with this. I'm going to end up alone. I'm stupid. I'm a bad mother. I'm not pretty enough. I'm a failure. I'm rubbish at my job. I'm not thin enough, smart enough, good enough. So, guys, do you see how this pattern of thoughts can lead you into a bad place? And by a bad place, I mean depression. As somebody who's been diagnosed with depression, I can definitely identify some of these thoughts. They are thoughts I've definitely had before. People who are depressed have a negative view of themselves and their lives. So these negative views will lead to further symptoms of depression, which lead to even more negative views of themselves, which will then lead to more depression. So I think you can see where I'm going here. It's just an endless cycle of negativity. Next, let's talk about types of automatic negative thoughts or irrational beliefs, as they're also known. And guys, please do further research on this. There are many resources available on the internet, so please go and do your own research. If you want, I will leave a few links in the show notes. You can start from those and then take it from there. The first one is called overgeneralization. This is taking a few isolated events and drawing broad conclusions. You find yourself using the words like always, never, nothing, every time, or everyone to make generalizations. If something bad happens once, you expect it to happen again and again. For example, I'm always bad at XYZ. Nothing good ever happens. I will always be alone. You never take my side. Nobody in this house cares for me. I will never find joy in my job again. All or nothing thinking. This is grouping experiences only in one of two extremes. It's also known as dichotomous or black or white thinking. Things are either right or they are wrong. They're good or bad. For example, I failed this test. I'm stupid, so I'm giving up. Either we do it like this or not at all. It's my way or the highway. If the report is submitted for review comes back with comments, then it means I'm terrible at my job. If my husband doesn't message me every day, then he doesn't love me. If I don't get A's on all of my exams, that means I'm not smart. Mental filters. This is focusing on a small negative detail of an event while ignoring all other information. It's seeing the world through a filter that will only let you see the negative. It's like looking through dark sunglasses. They can only let you see the dark side of things without recognizing the positive. For example, I tripped and fell, so my whole day is ruined and nothing good is going to happen today. Catastrophizing. Catastrophizing means you're assuming the worst possible outcome, no matter how improbable it is. It's also called making a mountain out of a molehill. Like, for example, thinking that because you made a typo on a document, you will lose your job. Or thinking you're getting divorced because your husband didn't text you today. Another one is disqualifying the positive. This means that you're discounting positive experiences and positive attributes of yourself. It's rejecting positive attributes, experiences, and compliments we get from others. We say to ourselves, that doesn't count, or maybe that was a fluke. For example, when somebody gives you a compliment, instead of receiving it and saying thank you, you think to yourself, they're just being nice. They probably say that to everybody. Or maybe when you're successful in a project, you think, that's just beginner's luck. Jumping to conclusions. This is drawing conclusions without concrete evidence. It can be in two forms. One, mind reading. Mind reading is assuming you know the reasoning behind someone else's actions. For example, in our case is your friend didn't say hi, so that means they are mad. Or two, fortune telling, also known as predicting the future and having negative expectations about what will happen. For example, I'm not going to ask that person out because they'll just reject me again. Or I won't apply for that job. I'm not going to get it anyway. Personally, as me, Michelle, I've been grappling with this past week because there's an opportunity I have wanted to apply for. But I haven't because I have applied for it before and got turned down. So yeah, something to think about there for me. Perfectionism. Perfectionism means holding ourselves to unrealistic standards. And you'll find yourself using statements like I should or I must. For example, I must get my job review back with no comments. My friend should always be there no matter what. I must have at least 100,000 followers on my social media. That's perfectionism. Emotional reasoning. Using our emotional state to draw conclusions about a situation. So basically, if I'm feeling it, then it must be true. For example, I'm feeling anxious before this flight, that means it's going to crash. I'm feeling rejected right now, so I'll always be alone. I feel like a failure, then I must be one. But guys, do you notice that there's a difference between our feelings and our thoughts? Labeling. Labeling means assigning labels to ourselves and others based on a limited number of actions and behaviors. It can be towards ourselves, for example, I'm a failure, or towards others, like they're all idiots. I wasn't invited to the fun weekend, so that means I'm a loser and they all hate me. My child misbehaved, so I'm a bad parent. But remember, when you label yourself or others, you are creating a negative expectation that stops you noticing behavior that goes against that label. And then lastly is personalization. Personalization means claiming responsibility for events that are not in our control. When you feel personally responsible for an event, a situation, or someone else's reaction, when there's no evidence for it. For example, if you think, if we don't meet our sales quota as a department, it's because of me. I didn't get that job, that means there's something wrong with me. In my case, when my brother died, I had all these feelings. Like if I had been able to do something or be there, then he wouldn't have died. That's personalization. I don't know, guys, what's your situation? So, how do we deal with automatic negative thoughts? For me, I think the most important step is to recognize them. Catch yourself thinking those thoughts. It takes awareness, intentionality, and willingness to catch ourselves thinking negative thoughts because it's a pattern we've been in for so long, it's become a part of us. So the next time you're having a negative thought, like probably calling yourself a name, catch yourself doing it. Do you have a journal? This is where journaling comes in handy. Other than capturing your life and your life events, a journal can help you process exactly what is happening. So you'll first start by identifying what exactly happened. For example, in our case, it's Monday morning, your co-worker walked past without saying hi. So write that down. The next step would be to write down how it made you feel and what was going through your mind. For example, co-worker walked past without saying hi. She must have been mad at me. And then next, identify how it made you feel and what you did. In our case, you could have felt ignored or felt rejected. So the irrational beliefs behind this thinking, if we were to go through our list again, would be fortune telling and mind reading. Because to be honest, you don't know exactly why they didn't say hi. Another example would be your father was disappointed when you didn't get the grade he was expecting. So you concluded you must be stupid and would not amount to anything, which made you feel sad, inadequate, and unworthy. And so you didn't put in the effort because you're going to fail anyway. do you see the irrational beliefs here? The irrational beliefs here would be labeling, because you called yourself stupid, perfectionism, and fortune telling. At this point, I hope I'm making some sense to you guys. In your journal, have a table with a column for the event, what happened, and then another column for what went through your head, and then another one for how did it make you feel or what did you do, and then have another column for the irrational belief. I believe that by doing this, using a journal, it will help you process the negative thoughts, and then we can instead reframe our thoughts to more positive ones. For example, yes, you got turned down for the promotion, but are there other opportunities for you? Have you succeeded in the past? Are there other things that you do well? So basically look at everything holistically. And then I guess, so the last column on our table would be positive thought. I have done a worksheet on restructuring your negative thoughts with all these columns already on it. So if you want it, guys, please let me know. I can send it to you for free, no charge. Just email me on cocobutterjunkie@gmail.com or reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook, cocobutterjunkie. So that's it for this week, guys. If you can, let's work on automatic negative thoughts. This week, I'm recommending Dr. Tracey Marks, who I've recommended here before. She has a YouTube video on addiction to antidepressants. I will leave the link in the show notes. I mentioned in episode 3 that I have been on antidepressants before, and for those who had questions and were wondering if you can get addicted to them, basically the answer is no. But please watch the video for more in-depth information, and of course, consult your psychiatrist. The other recommendation this week is Softie The Film. It's Boniface Mwangi's film. Please go watch even if you don't like him. I think it's in the cinemas for one more week. So if you haven't watched it, please catch it. Thank you to everyone who is supporting the podcast. Please keep it coming. I really appreciate it. Guys, please share your favorite episode with your circles and support the podcast financially on patreon.com/cocobutterjunkie. Again, the link will be in the show notes. So that's the episode, guys. Thanks for listening. See you on the next one. Bye.